Hey Levi, how's it going? I'm gonna unmute your mic or allow you to unmute it, and whenever you're ready, you can.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good.
Good.
So I've been meaning to get on here for, I don't know, years probably.
Mhm.
So I don't really have questions lined up. I'm hoping they'll come to me. Um, I am working on one thing now, that I want to ask you about.
Okay.
And so we're Tony's Acoustic Challenge. We've been with you guys forever. Um, and probably the biggest thing that I've tried to figure out is how to let people know that their annual rebill will be coming soon. Um, I'm not not real technical, but I've just been hoping there was like a super easy way to do that. We have a drip integration.
Mhm.
And so, when somebody signs up or cancels, it's kind of doing all that stuff. It's staying synced with drip. Um, and I think we
Yeah.
have something kind of technical set up, which I didn't do, some team members did, but it's just so technical that I'm like, I don't really have any confidence that I know that
Sure.
how it works.
Yeah. Well, the good news is in the upcoming release of MemberMouse, there will be a way to do that. Um, I don't know if you've ever worked with the push notification system in MemberMouse.
I think that's primarily how the drip integration is working right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it basically allows you to trigger different actions based on what's happening in MemberMouse.
Yeah.
Um, but it currently only operates on things that are user initiated, like somebody purchases something, something gets rebuild, somebody changes their or updates their
Right,
membership.
right, right. Yeah.
But in the upcoming release, you'll be able to schedule or indicate that you want billing reminders to be sent out X period of time before the rebill.
Wow.
It'll be
So like
super
I would set up
straightforward.
a new one for every, like if I wanted a 45 day, a 30 and a 5, I would set up like 3 different.
Yeah,
That would be amazing.
yeah, yeah. It's and the reason it hasn't been as a user, it'll feel like the same experience as any other push notification you just set up but from a technical standpoint, it behaves. mm, it requires a whole different set of challenges behind the scenes. If you think about it, in order to perform that activity, it has to query your membership on a certain frequency to check and see,
Be able to look ahead.
right? Check and see who needs to be sent a rebill reminder.
Yeah.
So it's a different, as opposed to the other way, which is a push notification just gets triggered by somebody's action in real time. So
Yeah.
it's just a different problem to solve. But,
Yeah.
but yeah,
On that, so that's amazing. Um I just now got WordPress set up through, I don't even know the technical jargon, but to actually reliably send out password resets and stuff like that, which is solving a huge problem that we've had. So I actually have some confidence that these emails
right.
would actually be reliable. Um, but I also would be curious if this system hooks into Drip, or we use Intercom, and so Intercom's more like if they log in, we can push
Yeah,
stuff.
so just like push notifications, you'll have all the same options. So with push notifications in this system, the trigger is one thing. That's what you're setting up. You want it to trigger 45 days prior to the billing. The action is configurable. You can send an
Mm,
email, you can call a custom script, or you can integrate with Zapier, which then can connect you to any system that Zapier connects to. So you have a lot of options in terms of what you choose to do when it's triggered.
cool. So if I remember, when you're setting up those push, uh, things,
Mm-hmm.
um, there would just be a new option. So, like right now it's like if member changes status and it's canceled, then do whatever. So this would just be like a new option, so that, because that allows me to kind of change a custom field in Drip, which then I can trigger tags or sequences off of. So that sounds like that's what I can do. So I could just do it once from member mouse 45 days out and then trigger my sequence over in Drip.
I can't answer the question about the Drip side because I don't. Yeah. I think the reason that our integration with Drip works is because they actually created some endpoints.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. I think if you look at your setup is for the push notifications integration with Drip is when something gets triggered, it calls an endpoint on their side. So you may need to have you may have to create some script.
Wow, that's great. Because like I think I kind of have it set up zero confidence because there's a bunch of crazy math in there. But I also don't know if my current setup, like if it's, because people can change their status, they could be pending cancellation, and I just don't want to send out that sequence if they stop their annual rebill or whatever. So when's this update coming out?
Well, the plan is this month.
Whoa.
Yeah, so we're in final QA, and I say the plan because when we're in QA process, obviously if we detect anything that needs to be fixed, we have to fix that.
And push it back. And
so far we've been doing QA for a while, and so it's getting very close, and I'm hopeful that it will be this month and confident to a certain extent it will be this month, but soon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to even know that it's on the roadmap is just very exciting.
Yeah, there's a tons of stuff in the new release. That's just one of them. But
okay. Yeah. So this just made my day. But the other question, and this, you might send me to tech support or something, but my my main stats panel just doesn't work. It just like times out. I can go to the other ones, but the one that's at the top of I'd have to probably look to tell you what it's called.
Let me open up my demo site I make sure I'm
okay.
Okay, so are you talking about the reporting suite?
Yep. Yeah, if I click that, that stuff never works. Huh. And it hasn't for a while, but I just, it's.
So when you say it doesn't work, it just nothing shows up?
Yeah, that page won't load. Now the rest of them, I can go down that list and those are working fine. Yeah. And now I don't know if it's related, so I'll just mention it. But if I were to go to under the member mouse one and go to, what is it, manage members, and then like select a cohort, maybe by membership level or something, and then go to export members, that never works.
Okay, the export is in the new release too, fixing that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was like some sort of server resources issue that maybe
it could be. Yeah, given how many members you might want, that's really the issue. So basically the enhancement is that we have created like a multi-threaded scenario where even though PHP, that's a technical answer, but it allows it to process things in parallel instead of linearly or synchronously. So it avoids server timeouts, basically.
Gotcha. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Because I've gotten in my habits, and I've kind of stopped exploring member mouse probably years ago, and
sure.
And so that's one of the reasons I was kind of excited to jump on is I kind of, I probably need to schedule a call with one of your team and almost just see like if there's some stuff that I could be doing that I'm not. Yeah. But on this, assuming I could eventually get this working.
Well, the thing that comes to mind initially, especially since you're not having an issue with these, is I wonder if it's like a JavaScript issue. I mean, the first like that's keeping it from loading. So like, basically, if you inspect the page, if you're using Chrome or something, if there's any like in the console, if there's any red stuff going on here, that could be happening from another plugin interfering in some way or whatever.
Okay.
And it could keep the page from loading. So we do have like a process, like, because it really, because of the situation of being WordPress, and it's an environment that we don't control, and we're running alongside your theme and alongside X number of other plugins. If the first step in troubleshooting a situation is to really understand and identify if MemberMouse is the problem, or if it's a conflict being caused by some other thing. And
Sure.
we have, Cindy, do you mind putting in the chat the article that walks through the safe mode process?
It
So
sounds like I could just send this to my devs, and if they
yeah,
need to get in touch with MemberMouse Tech, they can do that. But I just have never opened a ticket.
yeah, the first step would be to basically run through this basic troubleshooting to see if MemberMouse is the issue or if there's a conflict. So yeah, if you look in the chat, that
Okay,
if you send that to your devs, like, they should be able to run through that.
perfect. Okay,
And if they find that it's that even with all the other plugins not there and whatever, that it's still not working, then submit a ticket to us. But it's possible that it will just be addressed in the next version, because there's like hundreds of bug fixes in the next version.
cool.
So there's two ways that you could that might just get working again. The first one is running through the diagnostics, and then the second is just updating to the latest version when it comes out.
Nice.
Hmm.
Okay, just a general question.
Yep.
How's MemberMouse? How are you doing?
Good. Yeah, I mean, we've had some challenges over the past 2 years, like I think everybody has. But we're still here, and we were very grateful as a team that we were able to, our business is not brick and mortar, and we support people who run online businesses. So I think we sailed through it as well as one could.
Yeah.
um but yeah, we're doing good. A lot of exciting plans for the upcoming year, features that are on the roadmap. um and yeah.
How do you look at MemberMouse as it relates? You've been around so long.
Hmm.
How do you look at it as it relates to, where things have gone, like new things on the market, and where you guys fit in? Like, do you just have so many people? Because I would, I assume it's a good thing that, like, I can't leave. You know what I mean? I mean, people can't leave once they're in, they're in. But is growth where you want it and stuff? I guess I've just been curious, because you really just chug along consistently. You're not really like uh fast and all about growth. You don't seem like that as a guy. You seem
Right.
like a let's lock it in and have this be solid as hell. So I've just always found myself curious what your outlook is with MemberMouse.
Yeah, so I mean, your read is correct on me. Like, I I'm more of like a creative and a builder, right? So that's kind of how I approached the company from the beginning. Personally, my weakness has always been um, sharing what I build. So, obviously that needed to be addressed very early on. I needed to get people on my team who actually wanted to put it out there and sell it, right?
Yeah.
Um, like, I've always been most interested in evolution of the product, working with customers to find out the new areas where things could be improved. Hence, if you look at it, it's not hard to see that the strength is in the product, right? Like, my background is in technology architecture, and so our team's main strengths are in those areas.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
um, but that being said, I mean, that was really the first 7 years of the company. The next 7 years, I mean, we did solve that problem, and the marketing and sales sides of the operation have done a great job of connecting us with different markets and new prospects. So yeah, I mean, it's, and then of course, as you're indicating, the landscape has changed dramatically since 2009 when I started this company. I mean, now it's not about competing with other WordPress plugins like MemberPress and WooCommerce, but there's just all sorts of different options for people available today. So as far as us, we just like have to fine tune and focus on, well, who is our actual market, and pitch to those people. Because we still have a place in the market for sure. But there's also a lot of other things and options for different levels of people with different levels of problems that they're trying to solve.
Right.
So it's not as wide open as it used to be. So we need to be more focused and targeted in terms of who we're going after. But
yeah, I guess I haven't thought about, I don't really think about this stuff. That's why I was so curious, because it does seem like membership and subscription probably means something totally different than what it did in 2009.
Well, yeah, it's much more of the, I would say, part of the vernacular just of any beginning entrepreneur. They're thinking about courses, they're thinking about memberships. So naturally, so many solutions have popped up to help them solve those problems in different ways. It wasn't that way when we started, for sure. And the fact that you need to have billing tied to access. I mean, that's a big thing that people want to address. And like, how do you bill somebody X dollars a month or a year and give them access to content based on paying that? I mean, it's a simple proposition in terms of an idea, but to solve the problem, there's many different ways to do it. And now there are many options on how, but everyone has its trade-off. And so it really comes down to understanding the problem very clearly to know what the best solution is going to be. And even I, like, if I'm on a sales call, like, I won't always recommend MemberMouse as the best solution for somebody, because it really depends, which is another reason why I'm not the best salesperson, because
you're too honest.
Well, I approach it from a pragmatic standpoint. And like,
yeah,
my background is like, you have a problem, what's the best way to solve that problem? And I'm not going to tell them it's MemberMouse when it's not MemberMouse, but yeah. It's kind of like MemberMouse though is like, it's not so much like an issue, because all rivers lead to the ocean in a sense. And like, even if they're at a beginning stage where MemberMouse isn't the answer, I know if they start and they do something, MemberMouse could be the answer in the future, because it's really, it can be the answer for somebody in the beginning based on some certain things that or challenges that they're looking to solve or requirements that they have. But if it's not, if they grow to a certain size, it's definitely going to be the answer for them, because MemberMouse is going to be the best performing solution for people who are running businesses at scale. And you need flexibility. And to your point about, not being able to leave, like, I mean, this is the same case with anything, like any, but it can be done. And sometimes it does make financial sense to do it. I mean, we have a lot of people who come to us after years of working with another product because it started to, the holes in the ship started to show up. And vice versa. We've had people leave because they had a strategic thing that they needed to do that we didn't do. And so they needed to go somewhere else. I mean, it's never a fun and easy thing to do, but it can be done. And you own all your data. Like, it's not on our servers. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I didn't mean that in a bad way, just that it seems like it's helpful for your business model, I'm kind of jealous because
but the thing is, the only reason that can possibly work is if you're satisfied, like, right? Because if within the first year with us you weren't getting some benefit out of it, you would just leave, right? You would just find something else. So the only reason it works is because there's actually some value there that warrants and the exchange. otherwise, and the fact that, I mean, some of and this is a thing again, like some of the benefits of MemberMouse, like you don't even know about, because throughout the years, WordPress is always doing updates. Their payment related legislation gets passed, and you, as all of the businesses who run things online, need to be in compliance with that. So behind the scenes, like our team is always doing updates on the software, and we have a mechanism in the software that allows for silent updates, like which push bug fixes to you without you having to do anything.
Yeah.
So many of the benefits of what MemberMouse is doing for you, especially as our team is doing for you, is you're not actually seeing. In a way, it might be better for marketing and sales to let your site blow up, and then for us to fix it after it blows up, so that you know what our value is.
Yeah.
But we fix things ahead of time, so people don't always, and we don't announce it necessarily. We don't always send out announcements when these things have been addressed. So it's, again.
Yeah. Well, so I've been in, a number of like masterminds, business groups, and these people. So I'm always hearing about what other people are using. I'd say MemberMouse's biggest problem is the people that need to get up and running, who just have no clue how this stuff works. But I have never had envy for anything that anybody's shown me. I'm just like, I wish I could explain to you why you really should start with MemberMouse, but until you feel the pain, you're not gonna, it just might be over their heads. I started out on, I don't know, something janky like OptimizePress or something. So I got a taste of, like, if you're building a membership, like, you're not gonna try it for 6 months. This is like, the whole aim is for it to be 10 or 20 years. And so to me, I'm just like, I've never seen anything so solid and consistent in my life.
Yeah.
Whenever there's an issue with the site, I mean, I could maybe think of one time it might have been MemberMouse, but I mean, I don't even know about that. It's just so freaking solid. So yeah, I can imagine your conundrum. Because these other ones,
business, right?
Like, yeah,
I imagine there are some stats in our businesses that are similar, right? Like, there's a lot of people who want to learn to play the guitar, but how many people actually are going, like, know what that journey is about and have the commitment to make it happen?
It's exactly the same in that the people who get the business, they're the ones that make it seem easier than it actually really is. Mm-hmm. It's like it's the short term versus long term, yeah. And it's just human nature.
Most people will take a short-term solution, and I can't blame them for that. I mean, I would be I've been tempted many times, and actually more than tempted, to take short-term solutions. And, I've gotten bitten in the ass enough to know that siren call isn't all what it's cracked up to be. But that's, you can't just bypass people's first-hand experience on those things. Everybody has to go through what they need to go through to get to the point where they realize immediate gratification isn't all it's cracked up to be.
Yeah. Well, it's it's fun to get your perspective, because you guys just keep chugging along, and I'm always kind of blown away that you're so engaged. Because you've just been around for so long, and you're like still doing office hours and appear to enjoy it. I'm like, does he really like this stuff? Like, every year that goes by, I'm trying to get further and further in the background and be more shielded from the business and anybody on the front line. So
yeah, there's a lot of things there. I mean, I'd be happy to have a chat with you about it if you're curious about those types of things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, feel free to shoot me an email. It's just eric@membermouse.com.
Very cool. Well, yeah, man, it's great chatting with you, and I'm glad I honestly was it was 8:59, and I'm like, I wonder about that office hours thing. I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, well, this is the moment. So cool, man. I'm excited about the upcoming stuff. So appreciate that, and appreciate you and how Member Mouse is a brick shit house. So cool, man. Well, have a good Friday, and we'll probably talk at some point in the future.
All right. Sounds good, Levi.
All right. Bye.